Subnautica 2 saga turns messy. Former devs sue Krafton as publisher accuses them of betrayal.
Yep. I watched you guys go over this, and you predicted it. Yeah, they were gonna. It was a case of the 250 million or however much in bonuses for being on date, and then the publisher was like, "Nah, we're gonna delay it anyway. We'll probably review this in the article." But it's just interesting to me that you guys were like, "I think it's because of this," and we could see the devs sue. And they are.
Yep. Yeah. This is going to be very, very interesting. Let's get right into it here. Subnautica 2's development changes have taken another drastic twist as former developers claim they are launching legal action against publisher Krafton, which has now accused them of abandoning the project, which is weird because weren't they fired?
Oh, I don't know.
They were.
That's what the article said. They
were fired. They were kicked out.
Yeah.
So that's a bit weird. Last week, Krafton shared the surprising news that Unknown Worlds leadership had left the company, including CEO Ted Gill, co-founder and creative director Charlie Cleveland, and co-founder and technical director Max McGuire. No reason was given for the departures, nor statements from the departing leadership, but Krafton claimed that Unknown Worlds trio had left despite its efforts to keep them involved in the game's development. Steve Papatopoulos, or whatever the fuck his name is, previously the CEO of Striking Distance, would take over as Unknown Worlds CEO, it said. It was later confirmed that Krafton was delaying the release of Subnautica 2, which is the second most wishlisted game, or upcoming game, on Steam to 2026, so for 2026 then. A Bloomberg report alleged that Krafton had made the decision months before it was due to pay a $250 million bonus to the development team, which leadership had planned to share with the studio's employees of around 100 people. The sequel's delay was against the wishes of the studio's former leadership, it's claimed, and by delaying the game into next year, the company is now unlikely to hit the targets, which would trigger the payout. Responding to Bloomberg's report, Krafton issued another statement on Thursday claiming that the delay was not influenced by any contractual or financial considerations, but instead to improve the game, contradicting a social media post by Subnautica 2's former director, claiming that it was ready for early access. Furthermore, Krafton's new statement accused the former leadership team of abandoning their responsibilities in order to work on other projects, including a film, which it said led to delays for the game, and claimed that 90% of the $250 million payout was allocated to the three execs. This is becoming a lot of he said, she said stuff, but we'll read their quote here and we'll read through this because this is getting fucking wild here, this story. Krafton believes that the absence of core leadership has resulted in repeated confusion in direction and significant delays in the overall project schedule, it said. The early access version also falls short in terms of content volume. We are deeply disappointed by the former leadership's conduct, and above all, we feel a profound sense of betrayal by their failure to honor the trust placed in them by our fans. Okay, so then we have a response on Friday about a lawsuit being filed, suing a multi-billion-dollar company in a painful, public, and possibly protracted way was certainly not on my bucket list. This is Red. This is the creative director who used to be at Unknown Worlds and now is suing. But this needs to be made right. Subnautica has been my life's work, and I would never willingly abandon it or the amazing team that has poured their hearts into it. In one final twist, a selection of confidential slideshows showing Subnautica 2's development progress leaked online, suggesting that the content has been downsized due to missed deadlines. In an unprecedented move, Krafton published a press release soon after the leak confirming that the documents are indeed real. Given these circumstances, Krafton has determined that the transparent communication is necessary, and has chosen to confirm the authenticity of the projects, it said. Krafton believes that minimizing speculation and ensuring accurate communications with players must take precedent. This is fucking wild. Do we want to see those slides, ladies and gentlemen? Because they're on fucking Reddit. So
yeah, let's do it.
Let's go. We're going to delve into the worlds of Reddit here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's look at some of this. Okay, now it's redirecting me to another Reddit tab. I fucking hate Reddit. Okay. So let's read some of this shit right here. I'm zooming in, but it's getting further away. I'm very, what is going on?
Yeah, that happens sometimes where if you zoom in, it makes the image smaller. But did any of this, and I missed when you guys covered it initially, did you guys talk about the fact that this game might actually be a live service game in disguise?
No, we did not discuss that. I have not seen actually anything about that. That's wild. I mean, this looks like content volume increase as is 30%. Like this is, I mean, it does look like they're not hitting their targets, right? They're like, hey, we need you to be here. You're at here. Apparently they should have already had, at the point of this slide, May 2025, had the second region completed. They haven't even finished the first region, right? They need 8 creatures and 2 leviathans done in the second batch of working on them, and they've only done the first bit of that. 5 biomods, mining and automation, farming system, none of that's done apparently. Approximately 16 hours of core gameplay is not there, and then chapter 2 and 3 were supposed to be done of a 10 chapter game, and they're only on chapter 1. So Crafton is saying this is real. It looks pretty legit to me. I mean, this is pretty much what you would see from a leak. It's like, yeah, they're way off their target. That's not a little bit off. That's a lot off. That's like months off.
That is crazy, because this might be a case of like the little guy is in the wrong as much as you want to support them. Them saying, no, it is early access ready. I mean, technically any game is early access ready because it's not the final product, but it's like, this is 1 chapter of a 10 chapter game is all you've got done. By the time, I think Crafton may have been right in saying, no, this is not acceptable to release.
Oh, we got another one here. Look at this one. It says the game's content volume has been scaled down compared to the initial EA spec target, making it necessary to reassess the feasibility of the planned launch. So they're like now having to be like, okay, can't hit that, you can't hit that, you can't hit that. 6 hours of content cut.
Wow.
There's one. Custom game mode removed. The number of tools, equipment decreased, and the additional vehicles Trident excluded. 1 type of Leviathan removed, fewer creatures / biomods, and character customization features excluded. This is not
good.
No, this is really bad.
Especially since you would expect that they would have just been building off of what they had in the first game. They would have said, okay, hey, we're going to take all the content from the first game, build upon that, include new features, expand upon it. I'd be curious if this comes out in a state, and when I say curious, I just basically say I'm looking for confirmation, because it seems like this is going to be yet another game that comes out with less than what the original has to offer.
Yeah. And not only that, like a significant amount of what they were supposed to be working on isn't there. Blab says zoom in so chat can read. I tried. It's not
Reddit.
working. Yeah, it's not working too well for the Zoom.
Unless you were to right click and do open image in a new tab, maybe you can do it that way.
I can probably do that way. Let's see if I
it was in reference to the articles. So
no, it does the same thing, sadly. Okay. My apologies everyone with that. But yeah, this is not good. It's really not looking good for the devs, honestly, at that point, like talking about like, oh, it's early access ready. No, it does not look early access ready. Yeah, you can sell anything at early access. I could put a picture of my fucking spread ass cheek with a little bit of dribbling out and be like, this is my game, and then put it up there for early access. It doesn't mean it's what
acceptable
wants. Yeah, and Craft is saying that's not acceptable. You have to do more. You have to have like a good portion of the game done.
Well,
so worth playing.
Not to mention, I think the first Subnautica really was a game that thrived on word of mouth, and now with all the calls for the fan backlash and the calls for boycotts, they really are putting themselves in a tumultuous place. I mean, they're killing any momentum this game had. What went on with those bonuses it should not have happened with the game being in the state that it's in, period.
Yep.
Yeah.
I want to preface this. We should preface this by saying Crafton has, confirmed that they're real, but these are all leaks. It is all speculative, but we're just going off the information we have. Maybe in the future, when the court documents are released, it could be a totally different story. And
will be stuff through Discovery.
Yeah, and Outer Worlds was in the right, or Crafton was in the right. But going off what we have right now, I think Crafton may be in the right here. This looks like kind of like a Perfect Dark scenario, where Perfect Dark was cancelled. Not one for one, but, Perfect Dark was cancelled. Everyone was upset with Microsoft, but then it's revealed that the developers were like just fucking around. They were making like early builds, canceling early builds again.
Can we ring up a dub for John Graham, who called this exactly happening? Because he's like, we were all like, well, they probably were trying to avoid that $250 million buyout. And he's like, well, what if they were just trying to get that buyout? And it's like, that's equally as plausible. And that's what it's looking like. It looks like they really did a rush job to get it out because they knew that Subnautica 2 was going to do well, right? I would probably buy that, maybe not day one, but I would buy it early on, but not when there's no content for it. And that's what Crafton realized. They're like, hey, you have to bring enough to the table for people to be willing to play, right? People will buy a game in early access. Look at oh my god, Path of Exile 2.
Pal World.
But guess what? Pal World, Path of Exile 2 literally gave you way more content than what they're offering. Schedule 1. And Schedule 1's constantly updating with Subnautica. This game is looking pretty rough.